Hey everybody, this is John for MTG Nexus, starting off our new 2020 project, which is 50 decks in 50 weeks. This is a project that's been kind of on my mind for a little while. Our goal here on the channel is to be the most informative channel for Modern and Pioneer on YouTube. To that end, a lot of changes have been going on with the content creation and such of the channel. I hope the new microphone is coming through loud and clear. Let me know in the comments whether it is too loud, too soft, etc. Basically, with content creation on this channel, it's gone through a couple different iterations, but the main thing has been we were a lightning bolt or burn based channel. And I've been looking through Magic the Gathering, looking for content niches, watching a lot of different other content. There are some great content creators out there on YouTube only, people like Dredge, Pikachu, Grim Flare. There's a lot of excellent Twitch streamers, whether it be Jeff Hooglin or Todd Stevens or Caleb Durward. There's a lot of excellent content creators, regardless of how you feel about their political ideology, what they may have done in the past, etc. Looking for kind of a hole in the Magic the Gathering community. I think as a whole, there's a really flavor of the day kind of coverage where people are playing the hottest new deck, and then there is the kind of niche or focus on, like say Pikachu focuses on Merfolk primarily, or Francisco focuses on Amulet Titan, or Day2 Dryden focuses on Burn, or Grim Flare focuses on Green Black X mid range. There's really a kind of hole in the in-between thing where people don't really have an opportunity to learn a deck unless it's either the flavor of the week or by piecing together content from other content creators that have happened to maybe play the deck once or twice. So the goal with our project in 2020 is for 50 of the 52 weeks, I'm going to be taking one deck in either Modern or Pioneer. So no standard, no legacy, no limited. This channel is going to be specifically Modern Pioneer only. Taking a deck and playing it from learning the deck in my initial steps with the deck, so you'll be watching me as I'm fumbling through the deck. Like for those of you that watched the first video, I played some two-man queues with a particular version of Urza, Oko, or artifacts, whatever you want to call it. There are some variations. There's the War of Invention version. There's the Thopter Foundry version. There's even a version running around right now that's like trying to play all the busted stuff. It's like running Karn in addition to all this, and it's running Liquid Metal Coating along with Ancient Grudge. So a lot of different variants. I'm basically sticking to the most streamlined variant. This is by Kannister, obviously MCL or MPL player. Very known for his innovative decks and such, but this deck is very streamlined at what the deck is trying to do. So long story short, this is kind of an introduction to the new programming, what we're going to be doing. I kind of laid it out in a long tweet if you want to check out our Twitter account. Basically what our goal for 2020 is. I'm not going to focus on my future as a Magic content creator or a Magic player beyond 2020. I am laying Arena and all that on the side for this year. I am specifically going to be focusing on Magic Online, Modern, and Pioneer content, and trying to bring you the best I can provide for you guys in this year. So we're starting out with Urza Oko. Next week, we're going to be doing Mono Red variants and Pioneer, both the lower to the ground aggro deck and the mid-range Mono Red mid-range deck that have been kind of popping around. So that'll be starting on the 12th or 13th, depending on exactly how these weeks are going to go. That said, this is a quick deck tech as well. So this deck is the Urza deck that's been popping up around. It's been pretty much since Urza was printed in Modern Masters. And it's also abusing Oko Thief of Crowns, which many people feel should be banned. This deck is kind of all over the format, especially the preliminary events, which we cover on our weekly breakdown. I think this deck was something like almost 20% of the meta of the decks that 3-2'd or did better in that event, including this list by Kannister. Basically, what you're trying to do is use cheap artifacts like Mishra's Bauble, Mox Opal, Arkham's Astrolabe, kind of cycle through your deck a little bit, as well as cheap artifacts provided by Gilded Goose and Oko Thief of Crowns to power out an turn 2 Oko or turn 3 Urza, or even earlier in some draws. You can easily go turn 2 Urza if you happen to have like Gilded Goose, Mox Opal, and a couple of cheap artifacts. And then you're using things like Ice Fang, Coatl, and Engineered Explosives to kind of bridge the gap to set up your control engine, which your control engine is something like either Archmage's Charm or Cryptic Command, and then pairing that with Mystic Sanctuary. Your deck is permeated with a lot of islands and fetch lands, and then eventually you want to set up the Cryptic lock of Cryptic Command and Mystic Sanctuary, and you can use Cryptic Command basically every turn. You use Cryptic Command to bounce your Mystic Sanctuary back to your hand, and then you use whatever mode of Cryptic Command you need, whether it's counter spell, draw a card, etc. And then if you get 2 of these going with a Mystic Sanctuary, it's basically a lock. Your opponent has to be able to multiple spell in one turn to kind of break out of it, or be able to blow up a Mystical Sanctuary in response. Beyond that, you have Emery to kind of buy back some of your early artifacts and such. Can get you a draw step each turn, extra draw each turn with Mishra's Bauble. And it's kind of the main deck. It's a very powerful mid-range engine. Some of these versions, like in the past, have run things like Thopter Foundry Sword, but it's not really necessary. This particular thing is you have a lot of closing power if you're able to get a Urza, Lord Artificer, or his token online, or just an unanswered Oko. I think there was a game in the kind of warm-ups to this, me getting a little more serious and playing in leagues, where Oko himself just kind of closed out the game against Bill in like 2 or 3 turns. It was kind of insane. So Oko, very powerful card. How long it will remain in the format remains to be seen. If you're seeing this in the future and Oko's banned, maybe this deck is adapted and we'll revisit it at some point for like a league or 2. But that said, sideboard, this particular list is kind of very well rounded. You have Mystical Disputes kind of for the mirror match and against control decks. Ceremonious Rejection, you could bring these in the mirror match, but these are more for Eldrazi Tron and such. Tormod's Crypt and Grafdigger's Cage, both pretty good against artifact or graveyard-based decks. Nature's Claim, when you need a disenchant effect, Veil of Summer, it slices, it dices, protects your permanents, protects you from counter spells for that turn if it resolves, protects you from discard spells, although I don't know, you want to bring this in against just specifically discard. Damping Sphere, pretty good against the Amulet decks that are running around right now, as well as Tron and such, and then Ashiok, pretty good against the Amulet decks, pretty good against the Mirror Match. It's good in a lot of different ways. Actually, is it really great against the Mirror Match? It's fine in the Mirror Match. It's mainly for the Amulet-based decks and decks that are really searching their deck a lot, and also pretty good against the Graveyard-based decks. Then 2 copies of Dismember for just blanket removal. Some people are using white splashes for things like Path to Exile and Rest in Peace out of the sideboard. One of the things with this mana base with Twin Astrolabe, Mox Opal, and Gilded Goose, and then obviously not really stretching the mana base right now, you can easily splash a 3rd or even a 4th color. Some of these decks are splashing Blood Moon and whatnot. It's one of the things that makes this archetype so hard to combat, right? Is there's just so many different ways to customize it to fit it to whatever problem you have. So in some ways it's like it's not unlike Jund that you can like answer any particular problem if you truly want to do it. That said, let's go ahead and hop into a league and see how my first go around with this in a more competitive environment does. And we're back for match number 1 with Urza Oko, Urza Artifacts, with Oko, whatever you wish to call it. Selfie Seek is a familiar name, but I don't remember what they're on. So, regardless, hopefully this will be a good match. I'm going to try to talk through my playlines as best I can. Turn 2 Oko feels pretty nice, depending on interaction our opponent might have. Okay, so it could be against a mirror match, which would be kind of rough. Targeted themselves using the bobble trick. So maybe Death Shadow. So looks like a Death Shadow variant. Okay. Probably losing Oko here, as it is the most powerful. Oh, we take Goose. Interesting. So what am I supposed to read from them taking Goose? I guess that means that they have either another discard spell or some way to answer Oko or neutralize it. So I'm going to bobble myself to get some more information. I'm not particularly interested in drawing that, so I'm just going to fetch tapped Breeding Pool, pass here. Gives us the best chance of drawing, and we still draw Polluted Delta. Okay. Magic Online and its sense of humor. So it looks like we're up against Mardu DS Shadow. So is there any reason to probably play out this and then play the Coatl? The reason I'm playing this out instead of the island is because I want to thin my deck a little bit and hope to draw a slightly better card with the Coatl. Alright, so Ranger Captain of Eos. We're grabbing a Death Shadow here. Hopefully, I don't have too many of them. Let's grab this. This is a nice follow-up. Turn that into an elk so they can't keep us from casting non-creature spells. Let's can't cast this turn. Okay, so they are Mardu. Sure. And a Shadow. Looks like they're setting up a Kolaghan's command situation. I'm obligated to block here. Alright. Alright, so wow. So use this. So I can cryptic tap their team, draw a card, and then set up the lock, I think. Probably going to take Urza here, which is unfortunate. Okay. Sure. I mean, should I grab Mystic Sanctuary? Put a Cryptic Command back on top. Yes. Use this to draw the Cryptic Command. Do eventually obviously need to find a way to end this game, but tap all creatures. All creatures. Yeah. Problem becomes, right, like I can't can I survive this turn? So if they have any style of removal, we're in trouble. That was dumb on my part. The sequencing, putting the Cryptic Command back in my yard. I think we're pretty much bad sequencing on my part. We have the fail potion anyway, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so Mardu DS Chateau. And Ranger Captain of Eos. Alright, so Mardu Shadow. Sideboard. Got Stony Silence, which is annoying. Wear Tears. Ashiox. So, card I'm probably interested in. Probably interested in these Dismembers. Possibly the Veil of Summers. Might be some number of unearths in their deck, but I don't think that's particularly relevant. Might want Nature's Claim. That one's kind of sketch because I don't think we're being Stony Silence or care about Stony Silence per se. So bring in these four. What would I cut? Stoic Rebuttal probably isn't great. Talc Rebuke isn't great. Spellbomb's fine. Coatl's fine. Maybe Shave a Goose. And then probably want to shave one other card. Engineer Explosive is obviously pretty nice. Coatl can be pretty nice. I always seem to have this problem with getting down to 60 cards. I'm not sure why that is. If y'all have any tips for getting down to the 60th card, let me know. But I think we're going to run the 61 card special. Seems to be something I do a lot post board. Yes, I'd love to play first. This hand is pretty good. Definitely a keep. As far as sequencing, there's a couple of different things here. I could make sure I run out Engineer Explosives on one. I could... I think I just want to get basic Island here. And cast the Astrolabe and see what I draw. Gilded Goose. So... play this on 0. Play this out. Gilded Goose. And then, depending on disruption, we could have a turn to Urza here. Obviously, our opponent probably has a discard spell. Hopefully, it's just Inquisition. Probably Thoughtseize, though, unfortunately. Okay, or just push that, sure. So got this for blue. Keep this one. This for blue. Let's grab a forest. Turn to Urza. Seems pretty good. Okay. That sucks. Alright, that's pretty nice. Is it though? We are down 1 mana, unfortunately. How many 4 drops can I draw? That's annoying. Alright, sure. Alright. So... fortunately, I have to be mindful. Here kind of sucks. Well, I mean... they have another land, they get us, unfortunately. But I think this is our best line to get back in the game here. And we immediately draw another Urza. Alright. Another Urza. Guess in the end they just get to get us here, right? If I just turn this into a 3/3, we died to a removal spell anyway, or Oko dies to a removal spell, I should say. What you got over there, friend? So let's make this a 3/3 and just be dead, or do I make a 2/2 and hope they don't have a removal spell? I guess if they're gonna kill us, they're gonna kill us, so. And we're dead? Okay, not quite. Okay, that goes after that, goes after us. Obviously we have to block here. Goes to 3, which is annoying, but not the end of the world, right? And Ranger Captain, go get another Death Shadow, and then lock us out of playing spells. Definitely a rather tense moment for our opponent. Don't even know if there's anything we can hit off this at this point. Yeah, like we have no cantrips or anything available here, so even if I return Cryptic Command, I don't think we're living for a turn to get it back. I mean, Engineering Explosives a 3/3. Pretty sure that just means we're dead, though. Okay, if I'm going to 2. And everybody swing face. Yep, everybody faces the place. So is there any other line we could have taken there? This feels like the discard plus pressure is difficult for any type of counterspell based mid-range control deck. So maybe this is just a difficult matchup. Once again, kind of still early in my tenure of playing this style of deck, but Death Shadow certainly capable of a lot of disruption and a lot of pressure. We did have a very, very quick Urza there, but they did kind of have the answer to it, so it's kind of unfortunate, but still a lot of fun. A lot of back and forth in this kind of matchup, so hopefully you learned as much as I did in this particular matchup as we're going through. We are back for match number 2. We're on the draw, and our opponent has a 7-land keep. Our hand looks like it'll be pretty interesting. The option of potential turn 2 Oko, but should they answer Gilded Goose or take Oko in some way, we do have other options available to us. This hand looks like a pretty balanced hand overall. Not quite sure. So, I guess we just fetch basic forest here. This could be burn with a slow start, or it could be some type of disruption deck. Just gonna run out Oko. See what they do here. Something in my bones. Oh, no, not burn. So, alright, some type of mid-range deck potentially. Does not look to be Death Shadow because they're not aggressively fetching here. Well, okay, so Dredge. Oh, and I get a Creeping Chill. Not terribly relevant. Not a whole lot else going on. Guess they could potentially have another haggle here. So we get to run out a turn 2 Oko. Last turn. Did play against this style of deck. Interesting. Why would you not fetch green? Okay, there's a Narcomoeba. Again, if they don't have a third land, feels like that fetch might have been premature. Okay, we do have a third land. And no Conflagrates in the yard, which is nice. Just casting Merchant. Wow. Alright, so get an Urza out here. Get another food. Here's this. Make a mana. It does get to Dredge here. Get back Amoeba and a Creeping Chill. So they have no Dredgers in the yard. Guess they can Merchant in the Veil now. Not the card I'm supposed to deal with next turn. Yeah, it feels like. Another Creeping Chill. Flagrate is potentially annoying. It's a 2/2. Or 2, 3, right? So kill that one. And we have an interesting decision about what to do here. We start by casting Astrolabe. Let's get more information. Asher's Bauble. Hobble ourselves. Covered island on top. So a lot of different things to be done here potentially. But I have to worry primarily about that conflagrate in the yard as well as the Bloodghast. So what is the best play this turn? Could just get back another card. Get back engineered explosives. We're supposed to get back Bauble, cast that. Make another food token. I don't want to start pressuring their life total back the other way. Hopefully we'll draw like a cryptic command or something here. It's another island, which I already knew about, so yep. Last 4, get Amoeba. Get 2 amalgams back. They have loam in hand, don't they? So what, all 4 creeping chills? That's a little... Yep. Okay, sure. Either way, your blood gaskets come back. Your amalgams are already coming back this turn, so not quite sure. Wow. Alright, so Coatl. Draw a card. Mox Opal. So question becomes, block there, take 2. I can't conflag this turn, so do this, do that. Yes. Another conflag, right? Really would have liked another cryptic command there, so start by casting that. Okay, so engineering explosives could either get go for 3. I think the bigger problem right now is just the fact that our opponent can burn us out next turn potentially. So once again, a 3/3. Use nothing on our board that is currently at 2, so do that. That. Guess I should have done that on 3. Sure. It's kind of a long, grindy affair for game 1. Flag rate for 10. Yeah, I think we're just dead here. I mean, I can pop this, go to... And we're just dead to the counter swing, so... Yep. We'll counter spells in hand for us. Ashiok. Tormod's Crypt and Cage, all pretty nice. Don't think we want any of the other cards. Could potentially argue about Nature's Claim for like a Leyline in the Void, but I don't know if that's worth it. Metallic Rebuke and Stoic Rebuttal can probably come out. Spell Bomb could be okay, but feels a little underwhelming against what their deck is doing. And then Coatl is a cantrip. It's not great. Just cut a Coatl here. Trying to keep the engine intact as much as possible. This deck definitely requires quite a bit of decisions and play to it, so it's not like a slam dunk that this is like the easiest, best deck in the format for everybody. Like, I'm more of a linear aggro player. A lot of times I do well with decks like Burn, decks like Black White Vampires and Historic or Standard, Mono White aggro last Standard season. So it's kind of tricky, yet also kind of interesting to learn these decks in different lines and such that they have. So those of you learning this deck in the future or watching this for like great play, I apologize. So like 2, 3, 4 should be great, but I don't think this hand does enough. So like there's no graveyard hate, no early interaction, so I think we're just all good here. This hand's a lot of the same thing, but I think has a little bit more earliness to it. So do I put back here? I feel like Oko is possibly the least constructive card here. Could be Coatl, could be Urza. It's one of these two. We're going to put back the Oko for right now because we have no guarantees that we can actually defend it. And that was a mistake, by the way. Supposed to Mishra's Bauble myself first, see what was on top before casting Astrolabe. But I think at this point I'm fine with both lands and spells. So let's go ahead and pass that. I could really easily have something like a Thoughtseize, but this is probably more likely either a Haggle or... Okay, sure. I'll take an Urza here. Not sure that I would bring in Thoughtseize against this deck, but, you know. Action Grudge. So... inefficiency-wise, I think I just do this. I don't know there's too much with the Coatl here that I would want to grab. Yep, sure. Okay, I get a chill. A chill is in the air. Did you keep a one-lander? Yep. So that's our forest here, conserving our life total. Guess I could have gotten away with fetching a... whatchamacallit there. Probably not going to win them with the beatdown plan, but, you know. Get to... They missed a chance to Shriekhorn. Okay, there's a Bloodghast. Should have Street Horn during their upkeep, I think. Because a lot of it depends on what they got going on over there. Then they drew a Ancient Grudge. Wow, run the Thug beatdown plan. I'd feel bad, but so you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Now we are on the Cryptic Command. Hope it buys us enough time plan here. Really kept an awkward hand, didn't they? Ooh. So feels a little bit weird, but we counter target spell. Draw a card. I feel like you're a little low on gas. Alright. Command back on top of our deck. Yes. Feels like our opponent has just an awkward enough draw that we're probably going to get there this game. Though, our opponent did do a rather neat trick from the Dredge side. Before to get out of this lock, they used Shriekhorn in the matchup. I played... Ooh, that's a lot of Bloodghasts. I don't think you have a land, do you? Target player draws 2 cards. And make a food. Opal. That's a nice one. Play Goose. Another effect. Just hold up the counterspell wall and go to town here. Looking to draw a basic land, right? Or a land. And got there. Nice. Nice. Still not a huge fan of Coatl here. I think everything else has reasonable reasons for being in the deck. EE could be a little bit slow. Spellbomb could be a little bit better in certain spots than EE maybe. Coatl could be fine. So like there's arguments for bringing in or not bringing in certain cards, but I do think the 60 we have right now is fine. Once again, you don't want to dilute your engine. Could possibly like board out Noko, especially on the draw. Like awkward because like if we had like a acceleration piece, this Ashiok might be fast enough, but I think as is, this has got to be a mulligan. His hand isn't great either. Like no acceleration, feels bad, man. His hand's fine. We put back what? Sanctuary and Cryptic Command. Looks like we're going to Thought Seized again, right? Or just Haggle. I mean, this hand has not got a whole lot going on for it, friend. Sure. So, Bobble? Coatl. I think I'm okay with drawing a Coatl right now. Another cantrip. Opal not so great here. Okay, so presuming we're going to get hit by a smooth criminal. Yeah, feels like a cathartic reunion here. Probably at least one dredger, maybe two. Wow, no dredgers. All right. Interesting keep. So, unfortunate, but because I didn't have to fetch that there, but looking for another island. Unfortunately, those opals, you don't have a chance to tap them for the legend roll kind of comes into effect here. Hopefully this is just like cast Stinkweed Imp. Wow, going to 9. Sure. Okay. Sure. You already played their land, right? Yep. So, do the thing. Kind of bizarre tapping on their part. This could potentially get back Cryptic Command. So, duck, duck, right. Exactly the best card to draw there, but I mean, it's okay-ish. Just need to have something insignificant for one more turn. A lot of mana. Hardcast Creeping Chill. Mystic Sanctuary. So I'd love to put that Cryptic Command on top. Sure. Not sure why you wouldn't get your Blood Gas back, but okay. Sure. So it was a little. Yeah, nothing to. Counter target spell, draw a card, I guess. Goes not bad. Another Life from the Loom. Ancient Grudge. Sure. All right. Yeah. I guess don't matter here. Sanctuary, but cryptic command back on top. Yes. And so you guys can't block, so that is a good game. Well played. Definitely a lot of grinding for one win, you know? Anyways, on to the next match. Starting out with our third match here. Sounds interesting. Can we realistically keep this hand on the draw? Guess we have double Urza and an accelerant, so yes, but this hand could certainly be a mulligan. Serum Visions. Alright, so play this out. No idea what version we want to. Still not quite sure what we're up against here. So will I control? Snapcaster Serum Visions, mildly annoying, but kind of whatever. Let's do this for F6 value pretty much. Because these matches can definitely come down to potentially decking, so not in too big of a hurry right here. That's enough to draw out a counter spell here. Alright, there's a Gilded Goose, but I think we're just supposed to jam Urza here. Our opponent has a mana leak, they have a mana leak. Sure. Put that on top. Yes. Quack, quack. That was one turn, play out something substantial. Opponent has conceded the game. Alright. So skill disputes seem good. Yellow Summers seem pretty decent. Ashiok could be alright, although I don't know that milling them out's really realistic plan here. So Esper control. Fired up the Collie Boy downstairs. Spell Bomb can be cut. Other cards aren't particularly good. Definitely want to leave in some amount of engineered explosives. Though could have a hard time reasonably getting it to 3, so maybe we're supposed to shave 1. Don't want to cut too many cheap artifacts. Gilded Goose, especially on the draw, is less likely to live, and maybe we're supposed to cut a Coatl there. So what does this hand represent? Decent enough in the control mirror, I suppose. Yep. Okay, Opal. So just to leave that on the off chance that I draw another 0-mana artifact next turn, I guess. Also potentially representing Jace. Yeah, oddly annoying. Give me another 0-mana artifact. I suppose there could be worse ones, right? Don't particularly care about Serum Visions, although it is a little curious that they would fail to fetch here. Get Coatl into play. It's possible I'm supposed to jam Oko here. I think I will just leave things as they are. Should have attacked there. Don't know if the point of damage is... Alright. Well then. So some style of Reanimator, perhaps? Esper potentially? Stony Silence. Refurbish. Alright. I mean... like the tilt of our opponent's kill. Jam Oko. Probably have a counter spell. I'm not fighting over this because we do have another Oko. Yep. Makes the Refurbish that much more likely to resolve. Let's get missing damage. Importantly, discards a land. bounce that. Could have Oko'd, but really to no end. Not missing the attack that turn. Sure. Supposed to get that one right. Like they are definitely a whatchamacallit deck. Sure. So question is, which one are we supposed to kill here? I think it's just supposed to be Teferi, right? Fortunately, Mill and Urza. Yep. Let's go ahead and fight them on this. Yep. So we should get to kill Jace here. Our target spell. And opponent scoops. Cryptic lock, too much to handle. All right. And It's kind of funny how you can out-control the control deck by getting under them with the same spells. Go figure. Anyways, on match number 4. Back here for match number 4 on the draw. Yeah, I think this hand is 1 Mishra's Bauble or 1 Engineered Explosives away from a turn 1 Oko. Seems good, right? Yeah, definitely keeping. Okay. So Elves possibly. Alright. Just call that one Elves get out-elved. Okay, Horizon Canopy. That's what we have against Elves. Dismember, pretty much. Alright, so yep. Card I'd really love to draw would be Engineered Explosives. Yep. Mm-hmm. Archmage's Charm. So we'll just hold up Archmage's Charm and Coatl this turn. Playing Oko on this board seems relatively fruitless. So what do we have in the sideboard? 2 copies of Dismember, basically. Cavern Souls is a little brutal. This might be the incorrect line, but it does mess with their combat math and such the most. We get to Oko the Azuri. We have Oko and Quaddle next turn. Oko and Quaddle next turn. Sure. Four mana. Once upon a tizzle. Interesting what they take here. Shall I? Okay. Huh. 1, 2, 3. Big Bell Milk. Again. What you got there, friend? So Shy requires 6 mana to activate. Legendary creature Elk. Wowzers. Okay. Possibly they have another white source. Alright, so 3. Blind Elite, sure. Four mana. Collected Company? Oh no, they're just playing July this turn. Cool. Yep. Green. Quaddle. So what number cleans up their stuff the most? 1 drop, 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop. I think 3 drop. Sure, we blow up our own Oko. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. It's just like, wait, what just happened? Oh, Oko is such a dumb card. So 1, 2. Guess we'll have to make a food at end of turn. Alright, so another Dwyne's Elite. Try to Druid. Make sure we activate this on end step. Coatl. Here comes Urza. Tap that, tap that. Do that. Sack this. Play this. Let's turn that into a 3/3. Pass turn. Everybody, welcome to Elk and Elk. And pond scoops. Alright. So, elves. Elves are all you need. Elvish. Arch. Druidad. Okay. It's got some Bela Summers. Counter spells aren't great against them. Phyrexian Revoker potentially. I don't know. What do I want here? Feels like I want the 2 copies of Dismember. Probably want Cage just as a hedge. Feels like Ashiok's just too cute. And Stoic Rebuttal might be a little too cute, and Coatl is okay, but not like fantastic against them. Just comes down to what cards do we think matter most. Spellbomb could slow them down, but I think we just do the ye old 61 card special. Yeah. And got Dismember to slow them down. Turn 1 Emery. Potentially. Okay, can I do that, that? Could set up Emery, or I could just like dismember this. Obviously, they could have like Stony Silence or something here. Really hoping to hit a land, but reasonable enough, I suppose. Could cash in the E for 0, but I think this is just going to be too important in this matchup. Hopefully they vomit a bunch of 1-drops this turn and we can pop them. Okay. So Devoted Druid. So, wow, that's a heck of a whiff there. I think I grab Breeding Pool here. Got E on 1. Just hold up Dismember. but less luck than last game. Fair enough, friend, fair enough. We'll just go ahead and deal with that. Seemed counterintuitive to play the E on one, but Revoker's a little brutal here. Okay, sure. I'm supposed to run out. Urza here. I don't think they have Vizier. I think they would have run out Vizier if they did. Sure. Yep. Alright, tap that, want that. So, green, blue, recast that for 2. And this feels like we're rapidly approaching the point of no return for our opponent. Alright, sure. Get to get a bunch of mana. Cord for what? 2? Doesn't seem particularly good. Selfless Spirit, maybe? Okay. Effects on the stacks. I think that was a bit of a misclick. Oof. There it is. Oof. There it was. Alright. Dwayne's Leech, sure. Alright, so let's move to end this game. Yep. 3 mana, elf. Elves are all you need. So wisely diversifying their elvish portfolio. Shall I? Okay. Trigger. All we have is Goose. So it's on top of your deck. So we can go for 3. 1, 2, 3. Blows up our own Emery. Play out the Goose. So force them to block. So probably trade away Elvish Mystic, right? Guess I could tap that, spin the wheel. So green, tap for blue, cast this for sure. And let's gosh a lie. Yep, there's Shalai. And opponent scoops it up. Nice. 3-1 on to the final match. Yeah, we're back for the 5th match, and we're on the play. Kind of excited to see what this deck can do on the play. Well, with this hand, not a whole lot. Yeah, it's a little bit cantrippy, but not a whole lot of really anything going on here. What do we put back here? That's an interesting question. Let's get those out there since we don't have anything like Psy in our deck. Mirror match. land. Yep, what control? Oko, jamming Oko there would have been awesome. Alright, search for his Kanta. Unfortunate. Force check. Unfortunate, but completely reasonable. Alright, so we got the goose. Am I supposed to counter that? What could go wrong here? Yep. Alright, let's draw some cards. Actually, yeah, I think we just go ahead and do the thing here. Sure. Really doesn't impact my ability to cast spells, so. Okay. Terminazi. I sworn I meant to hit draw a card there, but, you know, whatever. It has their own cryptic command, it looks like. Watch map. Sure. Billions and billions of counterspells. Alright, well, let's move on since I see if that failure to draw a card mattered or not. Possibly. Alright, so Mystical Disputes, Veils of Summer. Your other cards particularly matter here. EE is not great, but it does serve some purpose, especially against a whatchamacallit build. Search for a Scanta build. Sure, hand's a little bit on the slow side, but does interrupt, so Celtic Goose. The goose is loose. Opponent's got an opt. Alright, sure. Search for his Scanta with mystical defeat, right? It's possible I was supposed to use one of the lesser counter spells there to not blow Goose. Because resolving Urza on this board I think would be quite nice. Oh, that's jeez. That's interesting. Don't worry. Alright. Got a Bobble and Astrolabe, so that's nice at least. Okay. Deprive. Yes. Goodbye, friend. This will just be here, right? 2, 3, 4. We don't want this resolving, do I? No, this is getting disputed. Yep. Another third Jace? Alright. Hmm. Alright. Wowzers. I guess we're supposed to bring an Ashiok like it. Like a good neighbor, Ashiok is here. No, Ashiok's pretty good at disrupting what they have going on. What does EE even hit that we've seen so far? I guess things and stuff. Like, we're on the draw, so shaving acceleration may not be the right idea, but bing, bing, bing. Sand is tempting. I think we keep it. Alright, so alright, Sanctuary is kind of whatever. We're really gonna jam Search for the can't I, aren't you? Oop. Go ahead and grab Breeding Pool here. Jam Emery. Your opponent could certainly land a Teferi, and that could be problematic. But I feel like this gives us the best chance to pull ahead in this game. All right. Dispute's a nice pickup here. Hopefully they fetch this away. That'd be really, really nice. Okay, you can draw fetch land. Don't really care about opt. Card on the bottom, so we know nothing about their hand per se. I'm going to use Astrolabe here. Sure. Sure. It's possible that I was supposed to have jammed Ashiok at this point. You seriously have another one? Alright, sure. Good lord. I'm gonna mystical this back on top, so. Okay. So. Sure. 1,000,000,000 counter spells. Yep. Alright. I mean, jam. Yep. Alright. Decent one. Sure. Yeah. So we're back for a quick wrap up of this Urza Oko deck from Kannister. Blue-green X artifacts, whatever you wish to call it. No real common name courtesy on these. Depends on what's in the deck, really. But as we saw from that matchup against Blue-White Control, the matchup against Elves, the matchup against Dredge, this deck has some insane tools to kind of combat the format. The fact that you can get out ahead and start casting Archmage's Charm on turn 2, Cryptic Command on turn 3 in some of these spots, the fact that you can potentially cast a 4-drop on turn 2. This deck is definitely capable of some absurd power, and people complain really about Oko, maybe lesser about Urza, but I think the real power of this deck is the fact that you get to play 4 Gilded Goose, 4 Mox Opal, and not even feel bad about it. You also get Arkham's Astrolabe here. I think all of these cards are, like these 12 cards here, are like the main reason this deck is so powerful and ridiculous. The fact that you get to play a mid-range game a turn or a turn and a half earlier than most of the mid-range decks is just ridiculous. I think that's really been the key of like modern, pioneer, standard, etc. Is if you can get ahead on mana, be it because you're on the play, be it because you're playing some enormous mana engine. As long as you have the right number of payoffs, like that is just kind of not fair. And Oko already has an absurd power level for even a card in Modern. You saw it single-handedly basically grind that Elves deck to a halt. That was just kind of ridiculous. Urza, obviously, both pumping out the big golem and the ability to, turn all your dead artifacts against a Stony Silence. People are like, oh, Stony Silence stopped the Urza deck. Oh, does it really though? I mean, we watched our opponent like Stony Silence us, and it really it stopped our Emery engine going. I'm not denying that, but Urza just ended the game. Urza backed up by a copy of Veil of Summer, yet another banned card in many formats. Kannister, great job on this deck. Probably just going to run it back card for card the next league. We might start getting into some alternative versions after that, but I did want to get a feel for the really the Cryptic Command, Archmage's Charm build of the deck before I start getting into the versions that are running, Doctor Foundry combo or the more all-in like Karn version that's running like liquid metal coatings and such. I wanted to give people a good base of like what this archetype is really about before, and really learn it myself before I went in and started messing with some of the alternative versions. So, deck is very powerful. We beat a wide variety of decks: Dredge, Elves, Blue-White Control. That Esper Reanimator control looked like a lot of fun. Using Sphinx of the Steel Wind against Oko seems like a pretty good place to be, and a lot of fun. So this has been John for MTG Nexus. Hope you guys are all along for this ride in 2020, where we try to play 50 decks in 50 weeks.